let's give you the starting lineup for tonight's 300-lap event. It is on the front row, Alex Gangler and Octavio Rondoletto. Row 2, Luke Turpin and Jordan Babinger. Row 3, Kenny Tripp and Patrick Sullivan. Row 4, Ezekiel Montero and Alex Krapser. Rounding out the top 10, Mike Stoddard and Matt Baer. Row number 6, it's Tyler McRae and Trevor Birchmeyer. Row 7, Greg Holes, Dwayne Robinson. Row 8, Logan Jones and Josh Doobie. Row 9, Mason Foster and Pistol Putt himself, Ryan Soper. Row 10, Sean Patrick and Jeff Edgar. Row 11, John Friley and Joe Campbell. Row 13 is Kendrick Cryer getting in via top 15 and Brett Edgar. The rest all receiving provisionals here. Robert Colgan, Jose Gaudino, Kyle Bartels, Art Hendren, Gerald Poole, Daniel Miller, Sean Andrews, Travis Sukup. The rest of the drivers starting from the rear with E.O. Wells and a strike. Austin Edwards, Blaine Aiken, Jonathan Bronson, Tanner Kalin, Chase Johnson, John Batista, Derek Colson, Ryan Seams, and Jeremy Leto. 41 cars entered for the event. No DNQs at all.
And just another shout out, we got Pistol Pud back, so show him some love in the chat tonight. Great to have Pud back on track.
We will keep you posted on how he does throughout the night. Soper starting from the 18th position.
Everybody getting lined up. I believe it is a 2 pace lap race, so we'll get just another lap in and get ready to go green flag racing.
Of course, all the drivers getting paced by the JT's mobile pressure washing pace truck, the newest XCAL sponsor, who have increased the team championship fund to $500. That's a big one, especially if you are battling for the championship. Lights are off, 1 to go until green. And real quick, Doug, who do you like tonight? Who do you think's going to win it?
Man, I've been wrong every time I've said it, but Rondoletto's starting up front, and he's been right there on the cusp for several months. I got to give it to Rondoletto on strategy, and finally getting a front row starting spot is going to just be what makes the difference here tonight.
I think we're having some pacing issues, it looks like, and we're extending this.
Well, that hasn't happened since the first race at Oxford. What an interesting turn of events.
Third row. I believe it is with possibly Patrick Sullivan. There is something going with the outside line. Now, XCAL is really demanding when it comes to tightening the field up when it comes to starts in the race. And I think this is the first time this season we've ever seen a start get extended because of drivers not tightening things up. And it has to be tightened up from row 1 all the way back to row 21.
And Kenny
As
Tripp,
we get ready, we say, race fans, strap in and hold on tight, because these men are about to turn them loose and drop the sledgehammer. Let's get it going. USA, USA, we're green.
down and away, off into turn 1, and do expect a little bit of chaos here tonight. As I've mentioned it in recent broadcasts, USA is a track that everybody starts on, everybody learns on, but it's really difficult to perfect, and we've heard that a lot of drivers saying that over the last week.
Lap 1. Oh, hang on, Rondoletto. Some guys getting squirrely off turn 4. One driver already spun in turn 4. That's Joe Campbell. And Tanner Kalin's already involved in a wreck as well in his return to XCAL competition. No yellows are needed. We stay green, but here comes Luke Turpin inside for the lead. And an issue with Gangler. Pulls up really high, and Turpin goes to the point.
That was a crazy incident we just saw on replay. Just a lot of guys trying to get down in the corner, get everything they can, and yeah, Joe Campbell ended up getting a little tap going around, but he was down below the apron. Everybody got by clearly, but that's going to hurt Campbell here tonight.
Joe Campbell, that team has had a lot of bad luck. Remember that Ford car driven by Ryan Seams last week? It was an unfortunate situation with what they had to go through. They had a top 5 in hand and finished in the 32nd position. Battle for second on the line. Jordan Babinger challenging Octavio Rondeletto, and a follow for Jonathan Bronson. Bronson has gone off track in turn 2. He keeps it straight, though. May have gotten a potential tap from behind.
Let's take a look here and see what happened with Bronson. There was a little bit of a blink out of somebody in front of him. He gets a tap and, yes, gets around, but keeps it going the right way, thankfully.
So Jordan Babinger up to second spot, took that spot away from Octavio Rondeletto, and now you have to watch the points battle closely. 4 points coming in. Luke Turpin getting the 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Has a 7/10 of a second lead over Jordan Babinger and currently extending that points lead at the moment. Field looks like they're single file for right now, trying to play it safe, play it conservatively. Mason Foster trying to challenge on Greg Holes. That's the battle for 12th, and Foster's got to run underneath.
And a lot of side-by-side action, but it only stays that way for about a half a lap. These guys are just going, driving off into the corner, getting a run, making it stick, and then getting out. So these guys will probably see a little bit of single file early on, but right behind them there's another battle coming, as it looks like Logan Jones trying to make his way forward.
We had a crash, by the way, that we may have missed on the broadcast. Travis Sukup spinning in turn number 2, just simply getting loose and getting the inside wall and tearing up the front bumper.
And that's been the thing we've heard all week long, is loose, especially off the turn. If you get the car neutral off the turn, then you end up a little too tight on corner entry, and everything's just kind of back and forth. So it's a balancing act here, but guys making it loose off the corner, keeping it that way so that they can maintain that straightaway speed, and giving up a little bit on corner entry. So I imagine we're going to see some incidents of bumping going into the corner and spinning coming up off of it. You
see leading this CSX line, Kenny Tripp, Patrick Sullivan, currently in 4th and 5th. They are allies with the mainly Asphalt and Sullivan iRacing Motorsports team. They got Alex Krapser with a good run early. 78 normally driven by Gregorio Dorso, not racing tonight. Ezekiel Montero filling on in. Also from Argentina, from Rondeletto's home country. What do you expect from him tonight?
He's doing great so far. I would expect to see him stay in the top 10. He's got a great teammate and going to get a lot of help, and I know they have a great setup, so I'm guessing that he's going to be in that top 10, just kind of lurking, and have a really good points night for that car, as long as they don't get caught up in any trouble.
And the battle for the lead actually starting to heat up. While Babinger and Rondeletto are duking it out for second spot, they've actually closed the gap on Luke Turpin to about a half second.
And you know what's really interesting is we have not seen Rondeletto start up front in several months. This might be what he needed to get over the hump here and get that second win of the season. But yeah, seeing these guys up here too, you've got Turpin up front, Rondeletto in third, and these are the two guys that are probably the best at the strategy and at saving fuel. That could come into play here, as 50 to 58 to 60 laps has been the general consensus on fuel this week. Most of the guys saying roughly 55, some saying they could stretch to 58 to 60, and a few guys that get a little bit less than that.
Looking at the biggest mover of the race so far in nearly 14 laps, he started in 37th and he's up to 20th, and he loves this track. The 57 of Chase Johnson has a battle in front of him between Soper and Robinson for 18th.
And Soper, great to see him back on track. New paint scheme, new attitude. He's ready to send it. He was so excited to come back tonight, and glad to see Pistol Putt back on the track.
Soper, a good start early on. That's where he started. So Soper currently holding serve in a great scheme to support the troops, driving the D4 Motorsports machine. I like the spoiler, too. If you go on board with Chase Johnson, the spoiler says team too slow. I think that's a little bit of a symbolization of what he went through before his suspension.
It could very well be. And it looks like Daniel Miller was involved in a crash just a lap or two ago, but it doesn't look like our cameras actually caught it. A little bit of blinking going on the track from a few different drivers I've noticed, and hopefully iRacing updates tomorrow will help with some of that.
Taking a look, and on turn 4, he just stopped. May have been blinking. Unknown what the situation was there. That gap between first and second, though, Doug, is still consistent. Just about a half second between Turpin over Babinger. Rondeletto, I think right now he's just being a little bit conservative behind Babinger. Doesn't want to take a risk too early and make the pass. There are some drivers that have a little action going on, and that is the 0-1 Josh Doobie, who made headlines last week in his debut, the first guy ever since the beginning of the season to win his XCAL debut. Tries to pass Kendrick Cryer, that is for 14th. Cryer scrapes the wall.
And yeah, he continues to move up in that Joker paint scheme, and we get a crossover move coming up off the turn. Cryer back down to the bottom, and I think we're going to see a lot of guys hitting that, scraping that outside wall tonight, just based on what we saw in practice and what was in the heats. That these guys are pushing really hard, getting right to the edge. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting night.
You've got Tyler McRae in that battle, currently in the 13th position. T-Money coming off of a... All right, Ron, I'm trying to find him here on the list. The 99 18th place finish. So was able to get a little bit of a payout, not too much though.
You know, I was thinking about this thing with Turpin and Babinger, and Turpin runs away, gets about a half second ahead, and then he just lets him stay at about a half a second. It looks like he could probably go a bit faster, and I'm guessing Rondeletto could go faster as well. But these are two guys that are playing the strategy game. They know they've got a long race ahead. They've got to save as Babinger gets a little loose off turn 4. They know they've got to save the car, and a couple extra laps of fuel could pay off later in the run. So a little bit of strategy play out of some of these guys right now.
You're going to look at the sector times between Turpin and Babinger last lap. Lap 1, Turpin faster by 0.05, and sector 2, Turpin faster by 0.03. This time by at the start-finish line, it was Babinger by 100th of a second, and lap traffic is what Turpin is dealing with for the first time today on this green flag run on lap 24.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it came along this quickly. We've seen a couple of cars get into trouble, a couple gone to pit road, but that was just, the 21 was just a straight up, that was Art Hendren, and that was just straight up lap traffic, Art going backwards. And we've talked about it, Art has not had any luck over the last couple of months, just can't catch a break. Hopefully things can turn around before the season's out for that car.
Battle happening between the dropping bombs teammates of Trevor Birchmeyer and Mike Stoddard. That is for 9th. It seemed like when Birchmeyer made the pass, Stoddard let him go by. Birchmeyer starting in the 12th position earlier tonight. Off of a 15th place finish for the driver of the number 1. And I believe this is his first trip at USA. I can't recall if he raced in the first race back in February.
And definitely has a good run going right now. He is up to 9th place after starting in 12th. But just noticed that Kendrick Cryer started in 23rd up to 13th. We looked at him a little bit ago, and he is closing the gap on Logan Jones right now. Chase Johnson, meanwhile, continuing his march to the front. He is now up to 16th.
How about Austin Edwards as well in that number 66? No surprise. Trouble for Derek Colson in the 5, who has spun down the back chute.
Waiting to see if we get a caution on that, if he keeps it straight or not.
I believe he will keep it going.
Yep, he is still going the right way, so good job saving that car.
And there was a stack up there, and he just got bumped by Sean Andrews. There was Kyle Bartels and John Friley ahead of him. And yeah, that was just a checkup situation, and Colson was not happy about it. Tanner Kalin just off track, and he's in the grass. issue with the 03 and has taken it to the pits. And another crash for Travis Sukup in the 88. I'm going to see what happens here. I think this is in turns 1 and 2 as I look on the replay. I think he did the same thing he did in his first accident. Just gassed it too early. And again, into the inside wall. My goodness, deja vu for the 88.
Really surprised by the amount of problems we're seeing this early, especially as the 88, you see him there lose the front bumper, especially considering the amount of MMP for this week. These guys are, some of these guys really struggling here, and a bit of surprise with these guys being some of the top street stock drivers on iRacing.
Alex Krapser is doing a great job early on this 29. He has stayed behind Patrick Sullivan and Kenny Tripp and not taking any risks to make any moves. He's staying patient in a 300-lap race, and actually, as I say that, nearly put the bumper on Patrick Sullivan.
And I'm guessing in the second half of the race, we're going to see a lot more bumper usage than what we're seeing right now. I'm thinking some of these guys will, I mean, this is a bigger short track at 3/4 of a mile, but it gets a little tight out there. And when they come to running down to the end, they're so easy. You barely tap somebody and they'll go around here. And I imagine we're going to see a lot of bumper usage later on.
So an update on Tanner Kalin. The motor blew up, and apparently from what happened, the wreck he was a part of earlier, the start he was a part of made it pop. And we're getting a report too. Sorry, Doug. The same thing happened to Sean Andrews last week.
And that definitely has to hurt these guys. You know, Tanner had a great run last week at Texas, and here he is getting back in the car at having a couple of just a couple races into his XCAL season. He's really not the way he wanted the night to go.
Absolutely. So right now, Turpin continues to lead, and we actually had a change for second spot a while back that we missed. And this really was a while back. Ron DeLetto was able to make the pass on Jordan Babinger for second spot back on lap 25.
Yeah, but neither one of them is really pushing to close that gap, or it is now up to 1.1 seconds, almost 1.2 seconds. Neither one of these guys really pushing hard to get back up to Turpin early in the race. Not a lot of reason to, and these guys are just playing out their strategy right now.
Change for fifth. Krapser was able to get by Sullivan, and now he is knocking on the door of Kenny Tripp.
Be interesting to see how long Kenny Tripp tries to hold him back there before he lets him go. Krapser, since he came into the league, he has really been somebody to watch closely, making his way forward. So that car definitely has a great driver, and looked like Tripp might have got a little loose off turn 4 there.
Possibly, and Krapser is starting to make some moves, and look at the brake rotors on the cars. They are glowing red. Definitely a place where you use a bunch of brakes. Now, do you think as well, possibly, Doug, this could be a situation where Krapser is using up more tires than guys like Kenny Tripp and Patrick Sullivan? You think the two behind Krapser are conserving their tires right now, especially with the long race we got? They're trying to extend their window.
I would find it unlikely. They're probably, 2/3 of the way into the run. Most of that fuel load is burned off, and I'm guessing that these guys are just Krapser's just that much faster right now. It looked like he was playing it really patient for a while, waiting for the right opportunities, and he was taking them when they were there, and he is starting to make his way forward. I don't think anybody is going to try and conserve tires too terribly long here tonight. I think maybe left sides, but I think we'll see right sides changed on every pit stop.
Sullivan just took fifth away, and this is not where Kenny Tripp wants to be, stuck on the high side with a freight train of cars behind him. Now how do you try and race Montero up the top?
You try and push that car to its limit coming off that turn to get ahead of him on the straightaway. He's giving it everything he's got right now, but it may not be enough. Montero down there has the bottom, the preferred line. The only advantage that Tripp has right now is that momentum off the corner, but there's a couple of lap cars coming up that could come into play as well, and Kenny Tripp's leaning on him.
Montero moved up the track. Matt Bear stays back, cuts up, and that stacks up behind them with Birchmeyer. They're battling behind him with the 53 of Stoddard and Kendrick Ryer. Montero still not giving up and takes the spot away from Kenny Tripp. Goes from bad to worse for the helmet.
A bit of an interesting situation there, as it looked like Matt Bear might try and take it 3 wide briefly. He thought better of it, thankfully. That could have been a disaster. But, yeah, these guys are really leaning on each other and pushing a lot harder than you'd expect early in a 300-lap race. But there you have it. These guys are giving it everything from lap 1.
On Birchmeyer just got loose on the exit of 2. Nice job to keep that thing straight. Kendrick Ryer tried to find a gap between the dropping bombs cars, but there was nothing, and he was about to get steamrolled. Birchmeyer loose again on the exit. Man, his car's trying to wreck. Second time that happened, and he saved it again. Watch his car closely in turn 2 as we watch Tripp and Cryer for 8th.
Yeah, and we heard Pistol Pud talking about it earlier, that his car would come in as it got darker. I really think that's what we're seeing here, is a lot of cars that are really loose on the warmer daytime track, but as it cools off, they'll get some grip. And now Trevor's actually looking to the outside here on Kenny Tripp.
This is an interesting move by Trevor Birchmeyer, as Tripp was able to find some stuff. Patrick Sullivan coming in already from 5th position. Look at this. And same with Kenny Tripp, the mainly asphalt Sullivan iRacing drivers making an early stop than usual on lap 47. Strategy possibly in the works here.
That is an extremely interesting, because everybody could do more than 50 laps from what we heard, but in the last few days. I mean, the heats were 50 laps and nobody pitted on them. So these guys know they can go 50 laps, so it's got to be some sort of long game strategy that they're playing here. They're going to lose a lot of time, so they're just hoping that with a full fuel load and fresh tires that they can catch back up.
You know, with the way all the races have been in the past, they have a nice long run to start things off. Do you think maybe Tripp and Sullivan expected this to happen? Because right now, those drivers are... The teammates, I should say, or the allies, are just hoping that a caution does not come out until the field cycles through.
Well, you know, they might be thinking about last week. We had one caution all night long, and that was a heck of a race at Texas. So fully could happen again here tonight, and there's just no telling. They've got to be playing a strategy game, hoping that by being the first ones onto pit road, they have a little bit of an advantage until everybody else goes.
Up there, right, Sopa, who spins the car out into the attenuator, was running in 21st, signaled he was going to pit, got into the marbles there on pit in, and he has spun the car out. Mike Stoddard also coming in. Sean Patrick reports he's coming in. Alex Gangler coming in. Drivers pitting on lap 51.
I'm a little surprised to see this many cars on pit road this early, with, like we said, 55 to 60 laps for most of these guys. And John Friley looks like he might have had an incident trying to get to pit road. I'm trying to see if we can get a replay of that, but it looks like Friley was off track for a moment.
I'm going to take a look right now on my end. Comes into pit road. Yellow lights are on. First yellow of the night is out. Car turned around on the apron. It's Sean Andrews and John Friley.
Trying to back this camera up a little bit and see if we can see what happened to Friley. And it looks like there's a couple of cars right there with them.
Friley had already spun. Andrews just had ARCA brakes in that situation. And let me see how Friley got turned.
The 04 just ran into the...
Too hot.
and it looked like they were diving for pit road, but those guys that had already been to pit road, this is going to hurt as the leaders now hitting pit road.
And then, as Friley's just trying to back it up and try and get it going, takes a while until Sean Andrews comes in, who doesn't see Friley. It's like a blind corner on a hill or something like that, and that is not good for John Friley and Sean Andrews at all. So, this will be interesting on how pit road happens, because we were in the middle of green flag stops. We'll recap it all and see who's leading after this break. Stay with us.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back to virtual Lakeland, Florida. Let's recap what just went down for the first caution. Kyle Bartos gets the black flag for spinning John Friley. Waiver rounds go to Jonathan Brunson, Brett Edgar, and Mason Foster. Race off pit road was won by Octavio Rondeletto. And how about his teammate Ezekiel Montero comes out in second. So the iRacing Juncos teammates line up 1-2.
And not really surprised to see those two together on track, and not surprised at all to see Octavio up front. And like we said, we've talked about it for weeks now. He has been knocking on the door, had some races stolen from him. Tonight could be the night Rondeletto gets race win number 2. And a lot of guys getting trapped a lap down after starting green flag pit stops. And then the caution coming out, a lot of guys really caught up.
More Polish pottery, meanwhile, is a Midwest gift shop and distribution center for Polish pottery stoneware. Guests can shop our vast selection of Polish pottery, one of the largest in the Midwest and the largest selection in Illinois. We sell only quality one Polish pottery stoneware at our retail warehouse style store. Their pottery handmade in Bolesławiec, Poland. Whether you are beginning or adding to your pottery collection, More Polish Pottery strives to find the next great addition from thousands of pieces available. Visit us during our regular hours at 8953 Jericho Road in Big Rock, Illinois, or online at morepolishpottery.com, 10 years and running. So extending once again, and so this is how the field looks. A lot of drivers on the inside line due to waiver rounds being in front of the pace car. And apparently under the yellow we had some sort of crash with Mason Foster. That's what I have on my end. unless they stopped on track. There was a stack up. I don't know if race control caught that. So let's reset the field as we get ready to go back to green. 1 lap to green. And let's stack them up properly here, drivers. Row 1, Octavio Rondeletto and Ezekiel Montero. Row 2, Jordan Babinger and Luke Turpin. Row 3, Chase Johnson and Kendrick Cryer. Row 4, it's Tyler McRae and Trevor Birchmeyer. Row number 5, Dwayne Robinson, Alex Krapser. Row 6, Matt Baird, Jonathan Bronson. Row 7 is Jose Gaudino. 14th, Brett Edgar. 15th, Mason Foster. 16th, Greg Holes. 17th, and those are actually those 7-16 drivers, all on the lead lap. Pace truck is in. Rondeletto, the right to fire first. We go back to green to put 61 laps on the board.
And you got to wonder with that restart how much communication there was between Octavio and his teammate to make sure they both get a really good restart. Both of them get out there clear. Jordan Babinger now having to fight Luke Turpin, and that is the battle for the points lead as well as for position. Turpin trying to make something work up on the high side because he is stuck up there for the moment.
That's confirming right now, yes, 5 points. Actually, however, though, watch out, Chase Johnson! Johnson losing turn 1. I thought he was going to take Luke Turpin out.
It looked very close. Chase Johnson definitely had this drift on through there, and, you know, all these guys on fresh tires, they know they had the problems on the fresh tires at the start of the race, and they're just trying to hold on to it till they get some heat in them. But, yeah, lack of grip early.
In the words of Dave Moody in Saturday's NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour race at Lancaster, Chase Johnson was dirt tracking it in turn 1. That got crazy, though. But yes, Jordan Babinger and Luke Turpin are battling for third. Now, while Babinger has 5 more points than Luke Turpin in terms of position, Luke Turpin would still have the points lead. Reason why is he has led laps, Babinger has not.
But if Babinger gets up there and gets a lead, that could tie things. Things could get very even closer. I mean, coming into tonight, 4 points apart. These guys are going for every point they can get. I mean, we heard Turpin say it's too early to think about points, and I'm just going to call BS on that one because you know he is thinking about points. Watching in his mirror, watching in front of him, he's got to be thinking about it.
You know, something else, too, to think of as well. Fastest lap of the race also gets 5 bonus points, and that would belong to Jordan Babinger at a 22.81. So Jordan Babinger would have the points lead over Luke Turpin at the moment. So you are correct on that, Doug. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, and if he gets out there and leads a lap, that'll give him even more. But a 1 point lead as they run on track. So interesting turn of events, and you know these guys are watching every stat they can.
Oh. That got close between Johnson and Turpin, part 2, as they are in a Duke-to-Duke, wheel-to-wheel battle for 4th, and Turpin can't clear just yet.
And Johnson was... Oh, he just slides right in there. Just.
This is getting good.
Oh,
Kendrick Cryer.
I think Kendrick Cryer might have used the bumper a little bit there. Unintentionally, but it looked like he gave a little bumper there.
This is getting to be some fun racing inside the top 5. Not afraid to get down and dirty, and especially this early in the race. And we got a battle for second heating up here between Ezekiel Montero and Jordan Babinger. Would put more points up on Luke Turpin.
And Babinger just getting past a lap car, the 04 here, and trying to get back up there. It looked like he might get a run down on the bottom, and Derek Colson had an incident.
Scratch for Derek Colson. By the way, Kendrick Cryer was able to make a pass on Chase Johnson for the top 5 spot. And looking at Colson here, and John Friley put the bumper to him and simply turns Colson around. And Colson will not be happy, and I think he's looking for Friley. Keep in mind, intentional stuff will not be tolerated in XCAL competition. And, held up Babinger there for a moment. That got a little bit close there. I think Colson is looking for his new favorite driver, that being Big John.
Yeah, and that's not the first time those two have been in an incident together tonight. I am guessing that that things are about to really heat up with those two before the night is out. I would suggest they try and stay apart from each other. There's no telling what could happen.
Keep in mind, though, Colson, I believe, would be more respectful, considering the fact that he is a senior admin, and an intentional contact like that would, I believe, get him suspended for 2 races and put him on probation, definitely, or maybe even lose his senior admin stats. So, but he's still showing respect right now to the front runners and getting out of harm's way. For those wondering where John Friley is at the moment, currently in 38th and is on the other end of the straight, actually in pit road.
Yeah, he just suddenly ducks down to pit road. Probably had some damage after all of that, being involved in 2 incidents so far that we know of. I am sure that car is not 100%. And just watching Chase Johnson for the last lap or so, his car has finally got some grip to it, and it looks like he is starting to pick up a little bit of speed as he tries to catch up to Kendrick Cryer.
For the lead. I don't know what happened with Ron DeLotto, but he slowed down. Montero trying to look to the inside. Hard racing there. The door is slammed shut by his teammate. Babinger puts the bumper to Montero. And the battle for third is on between the championship contenders.
These two have been racing side by side in the points and on the track all season long. These two are very respectful of each other on track, but you know, with this points battle heating up, anything could happen here.
My goodness, it's getting good. I don't know what happened with Ron DeLotto. All of a sudden, he just slowed down, and Montero was all over his rear end.
There's a lot of cars going to and from pit road at the moment. We had Cole Patrick and John Friley coming to and from. That's the only thing I can think of that would have that impact.
Yeah, possibly. I'm a little baffled by that still, too, as we continue to watch that battle for second between Ron DeLotto and, not Ron DeLotto, Montero and Babinger. Again, a great run for Montero so far early in this race. Definitely getting a lot of respect from his fellow XCAL drivers.
Definitely, and he's got a good teammate there. You know they're all going to show that team a lot of respect because that team shows everybody respect. I don't think Ron DeLotto would put up with a whole lot of his teammate disrespecting it as he is the team owner.
Oh.
And the 78 dropping to the bottom, making Babinger work the high side to take the position. And now Turpin to the inside.
This could be a strategy situation. Ron DeLotto wants to race with Turpin, and Montero... He is just trying. It's like he's trying to break the draft, like it's a super speedway race, and somehow, some way, Babinger keeps third. He's trying to set this corner up by diamonding the corners, entering high, exiting low, and trying to pass Montero. That's the situation he's trying, and Kendrick Cryer was almost able to make a pass stick on Luke Turpin for fourth.
And while all this is happening, Ron DeLotto is starting to drive away from this. So it could be multiple strategies going on, both team strategy and it could be on-track strategy. And Montero just wants to have a good showing here tonight, so he is giving it everything he's got, trying to hold that position as long as he possibly can.
Well, here's what I think what Ron DeLotto knows, that Jordan Babinger is the fastest car on track. Montero possibly doing some gamesmanship here and team strategy and making sure that 48 does not get by at all for a second spot. But now Babinger's got a run here possibly in 3 and 4, and he's got some help from Kendrick Cryer. But Babinger's in trouble. Montero's got to hold on to it. At the stripe, it's Ezekiel still for second.
And this is going to be one heck of a battle here, and it's not going to let up all night long. I don't see these guys taking it easy at all.
And Turpin fell back a couple of spots to 6. He dropped down and said, boys, I got a championship to race for. I don't want to be in it. What are you thinking if you're Kendrick Cryer? Or, excuse me, Jordan Babinger?
If I'm Jordan Babinger and I see Turpin's drop back and I've got an opportunity here to make up some points, I'm going to go for it. But, Babinger up there in third, he's going to push for everything he can get those bonus points, and try and get that points lead.
You know, when we went to USA International Speedway back in February, XCAL president Aaron Hillebush called it some of the best racing he's seen this season so far. I think he's got a challenge on his hand if this is the best racer or not. Chase Johnson in the wall. I saw that coming. That got very close. The chrome horn goes to Chase Johnson. And now if I'm Babinger, I'd probably back out of this.
Yeah, and it looks like he kind of did, as Chase seems to be losing the handling on the car again.
Contact between Cryer and Johnson. These two are good friends on and off the track, and Johnson finds a hole to slip in. Now crosses over on Cryer. Battle for third up for grabs with lap traffic in front of them. That's the 21 of Art Hendren, I believe.
Yeah, and Art has been already lapped. He's going to go either 2 or 3 laps down now. He is really, really struggling here tonight. Bit of a surprise to see him struggling quite this much.
I tell you something, race leader Octavio Rondeletto is missing a race behind it, but I think Ezekiel Montero is probably keeping him updated on what's going on here. And Cryer goes to the outside. They nearly touched wheel to wheel. Let's see if this opens the door for Chase Johnson, possibly.
Chase Johnson's struggling so much. It seems like the handling, he'll be bad for about 5 laps. He'll be really good for about 10 laps. And then the handling really going away on that car as he struggles getting off the turns just about every lap.
Montero is running a really good line right now. Doesn't even seem to show any tightness at the moment as we got a car in pit row that's Dwayne Robinson, the number 14, and oh, Montero, you see that? He clipped the apron entry. That's going to help out Cryer make the pass stick. He clears for second.
And Chase Johnson saw that too. He got right up to the back bumper. I think he gave him a, yeah, he gets a tap.
No! Chase Johnson said, I'm sick of the way you're racing, everyone. Get the heck out of my way.
What a power move. And now you got to wonder if that 78 is going to come back and, return the favor, give him a little bit of the horn himself. That, it looked fairly innocent. He just moved him up the track. Nobody got taken out, but that was some rough racing, and it was going to happen eventually.
Possibly. You've got Jordan Babinger, and how about Jonathan Bronson? Recovering from an off-track issue to start the race, and he is up to 7th position. And Babinger is loose.
Babinger was loose, as was Montero. They both got loose coming through there.
You see the move by Bronson? Just shoved the 78 up the track and took him off his line.
And things are starting to get really, really rough out here. Guys are starting to use the doors, the bumpers, and everything else just to pick up any position that they can.
This is going to be a lot of fun. Turpin looking for third here, and that is a big position that would give Luke Turpin the provisional championship lead.
And, there he goes. Looks like he is going to take third. Babinger 2 spots back, and all Babinger needs to do at this point, at least for the moment, is just...
Go ahead, though.
That's a bit early for Chase.
I
hits the wall.
Got the marbles, came in way too hot. He lost a right front. Chase Johnson, who no question was going to be a contender to win this race, is possibly out of it. And he is just disconnected. That is drama.
That is a heartbreak for Chase Johnson. After having such a good run, we knew he was fighting the handling on the car, but that was just a mistake on corner entry. He probably could have gotten back out 5-10 laps to go, after 5 or 10 laps as we start to see around the green flag pit stops.
Yeah, you just hate to see that for Chase Johnson, and he had a chance to try and sweep USA, and that is likely not going to happen. So, as we look at everything right now, Luke Turpin in third, Jordan Babinger in fourth. They each have 5 bonus points. Turpin from leading laps, Babinger from having the fastest lap of the race, and so that stays the same. Turpin has currently provisionally a 9-point lead.
And somebody we haven't talked about, and I just realized he's not in the field tonight. John Schwartz isn't here, so won't be talking about him sneaking through the field to the front.
Schwartz had another prior commitment, so he could not be here. Ezekiel Montero, by the way, in pit road, and the leader's pitting. Ron DeLotto is in.
Giving the lead to Kendrick Cryer now, and we are starting to see, and this is still very early for a lot of guys, so I've got to wonder about this pit strategy with a bunch of cars pitting before they are even close to needing fuel, especially given what happened last time around. You know, we saw the incident coming to pit road. We talked about it in pre-race. This pit road is tricky to get on, tricky to get off, and with the traffic flying around, there's no real big gaps on the track. It's a little bit odd to see guys short pitting.
Just had a change of position for third. Jonathan Bronson makes the pass on Jordan Babinger. Now, if you're Babinger, by the way, and you've got the fastest lap, would you stay out longer than Luke Turpin to just so you can lead a lap, get 5 more bonus points for leading a lap?
Absolutely. He's going to get a lap led one way or another tonight. I can guarantee you that. No matter what it takes, he needs the points, and I guarantee you he is thinking about that just as much as Turpin is, and going to go for every point he can get here. And, you know, the problem with that, though, being Luke Turpin is one of the best at saving fuel in these cars.
And look who's in front of Luke Turpin, by the way, the 78. You think Turpin wants to get him, get his, what Dale Earnhardt once say, rattle his cage a little bit?
I'm guessing there's that very real possibility that there's going to be a lot of cage rattling before this thing is over. Both from them and from some of the other incidents we've seen on track, there's been a lot towards the back of the field as well, and I expect a few cars to get moved out of the way before the night's out.
Yes, absolutely. Babinger up in third position. Behind him is Brett Edgar in the number 2. Alex Krapser is fourth. And Matt Baer, who was the fastest in practice, is currently in the 5th position. Leaders going to pit this time. Kendrick Cryer just had the message come through on Will Petey, so he will give up the lead to Luke Turpin.
And Jordan Babinger is not going to lead that lap this time. He comes to pit road.
So Babinger pitting earlier. That could be a horsepower advantage possibly over Luke Turpin after the pit cycle through. All Babinger has to make sure what doesn't happen in front of him is that he's not checked up with heavy lap traffic.
And speaking of heavy lap traffic, the 21 of Art Hendren was briefly 3 wide with the 78 and another car as the 78 was getting around and almost had an incident up there with the 21 and his teammate right in front of him, the 22, I believe.
Yeah, that's Sean Patrick in the dropping bombs, number 22. Turpin the leader, Alex Krapser second, Matt Baer third, Mason Foster fourth. Greg Holes is pitting in from 5th position. Highest driver that's already pitted right now from the looks of it. As I go through, if I were to guess, oh, trouble! Jose Gaudino, there is some smoke. And I think Logan Jones was a part of it too. There was a stack up with Mason Foster and Matt Baer. Turpin was way ahead of it. I don't know if that seemed to be the case.
It looked like these guys a big group came off of pit road together, and they came out right in front of Logan Jones, who had already been to pit road, so he was flying back by, and all of a sudden all this traffic comes out in front of him, and they try and go 2 and 3 wide right there, and it did not work out well at all.
I would like to say the highest driver that has already made a stop, my guess would be either Dwayne Robinson or Kendrick Cryer in the 15. I think it's Cryer. He's up on Babinger, but Bronson has been able to jump Kendrick Cryer, and same with Ron DeLotto. So Ron DeLotto would currently be the provisional leader. At the moment, Logan Jones coming into pit road, just coming off of the top 10. As Turpin has a 1.5 second lead on Alex Krapser. 4 cars are ahead of him. Best battle on track is for P3, and that's Mason Foster and Matt Baer. But Foster says, not anymore, I'm coming in.
And, you know, Crapser is going to stay out as long as possible. We've seen him do it the last couple of races since his XCAL debut. He, every race, I do believe he has led a lap just based on some smart strategy. He's picking up some bonus points here and there. So a great job for that team and a big help to the team when you're picking up 5 points a race every single race, regardless of your finishing position.
Crapser behind by 1.3 seconds. I'm trying to find another good battle on track for 8th. It's Robert Colgan and Austin Edwards. Colgan had an issue in his heat when Tanner Kalin got into him. I think Colgan may give it up, either Edwards. And we're getting reports that the leader is coming in, and I would expect the same thing too for Matt Baer, his teammate.
And, you know, you were mentioning the heats and some problems. There was a lot of aggravation after several of the heats. There was a lot of frustration with other drivers. And I fully expect some of that will come back to bite them tonight as Alex Crapser takes the lead and picks up his 5 bonus points. So there I would expect him in the next lap or two. But Matt Baer did not pit at the same time as his teammate. He is still on track.
That's a little bit surprising from my end, and Baer is getting pressure from Ryan Seams in the 131. Seams, I believe, has already pitted, and I think he has. Seams currently in position number 5. Yes, he is currently in 5th. And when the field cycles through, believe Rondeletto would be the leader over Jonathan Bronston. Cryer is behind those two drivers, and Babinger is way off. So I think the advantage could be Luke Turpin here once he exits pit road.
And another, just got an update. Gerald Poole might be done for the night. He has got damage from getting shoved into a car in front of him on the caution. Restart caused the engine to blow. His night might be over. So after another guy that's had a good start in his XCAL career, definitely struggling here tonight, and now he's part owner of a team.
Yep, that's Thanos for you there.
Maybe he can snap the engine back in.
So Crapser and Baer still 1 and 2. Now Matt Baer comes into pit road this time. Again, you got to be careful coming in pit road. And we saw it with Chase Johnson because there's marbles all the way in the pit road entry. And if you go, and you got to go a little bit slower than usual when you come into pit road, or else you come in too hot, cook the brakes up, and hit the attenuator. And we saw that with Chase Johnson, who pretty much rage quit.
Yeah, and this is, like we've said, a difficult pit road, especially when you consider when you're getting down there, the pit road entry is curved, and you go a little ways into the pit road to where it straightens out before you actually hit the pit road speed limiter. So the temptation is to go as far as you can, as fast as you can, but the problem being, like you said, the marbles down there, the track builds up a lot of debris and it drifts down to the bottom, so definitely a bit difficult to get onto this pit road.
Definitely, that is for sure. Alex Crapser, the leader, coming into pit road this time. Pit road speed here 35 miles an hour. We'll see if he gives the lead up to Austin Edwards.
And meanwhile, while you're looking at that, we're looking at Pistol Pud, who is starting to make some moves. He's currently scored in 26, but he's going to pick up some positions here in a few minutes. So the return of Pistol Pud is definitely a good start and a good job so far tonight, as once pit stops cycle through, he'll be in the top 20, I do believe.
Have to take a look in just a moment. Austin Edwards has yet to pit in this cycle. I believe 2 drivers have yet to pit. That's Austin Edwards and Jeremy Leto. Now Leto pits. Edwards is trying to extend this run and try and bank on a yellow that would trap a bunch of drivers a lap down.
And Leto now to pit road. Austin Edwards, if he gets a caution right now, although I really am impressed by everybody getting on and off pit road without another caution, but if Austin Edwards gets the caution right now. He will be the smartest man. Oh, he comes to pit road.
Yep, he is coming into pit road this time and will give the lead up. Octavio Rondoletto will be your race leader. We're going to take a break here. It is the K2 Sauce 300 on XCAL Racing on How to Suck at iRacing. Battle for the lead is on. Jonathan Bronson and Kendrick Cryer got 1-2 from Octavio Rondoletto. Doug, what happened there?
Just a ton of back and forth. Rondoletto, Bronson leaning on each other. A bit of a surprise to see Rondoletto pushing as hard as he did. But, yeah, they were just side by side. Kendrick Cryer managed to sneak up underneath Rondoletto as he was stuck on the high side. And there you have it. Now Bronson to the lead. And after pit stops, Jonathan Bronson has now, who started in 35th, is now leading. That's a heck of a run out of Bronson.
Tell you this, Bronson pitted on lap 100, Kendrick Cryer lap 103, so they have fresher tires than Octavio Rondoletto, so keep that in mind. This is an abrasive surface too.
Yeah, it really is. Tire wear is an issue here, but I think the fuel window, from what I was hearing, the fuel window is about perfect for fresh tires, although I am a bit surprised to see some of these guys, as I mentioned, that have been short pitting. That's a bit of a surprise, so we'll have to see if that comes into play, if these guys like Luke Turpin, who stayed out a lot longer, how far he can extend that run and see if he can make up a lot of ground. Another one, Alex Krapser, he was leading for a while, now still in 6th place, and I believe he was the last car on the lead lap to come off pit road. So he can definitely go further, and he'll have the better tires for that run.
Freshest tires of all drivers on track is Austin Edwards, who was the last to pit. By the way, an update, Luke Turpin passed Jordan Babinger about a lap or two ago for 4th position. So Luke Turpin remains in the championship lead. 9 points is the difference.
And it's going to continue to be back and forth all night long.
Definitely. So Bronson the leader, and it's a good battle for the race lead between him and Kendrick Cryer. Both of these guys, I guess you could add Kendrick into the mix-up. Both of these drivers have had some bad luck. Jonathan Bronson has had races that he has dominated, and just has not been able to find the checkered flag like Chase Elliott in the first 2 years in the Cup Series. Kendrick Cryer has just been having internet issues.
Yeah, Kendrick really had some internet issues last week. If I remember, he actually ended up getting a black flag at one point because of it.
And he... Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and I saw in practice that he had some internet instability. I haven't seen much in the race, though, so he seems to be doing okay. And tonight, it might come down to him and Rondoletto, and both of them hungry for a win. It's been a long time for both.
Race could pause. Yeah, you could even add Rondoletto to the bad luck category in this year's Oscar Awards, or XCAL Awards, rather, as they're in a great battle. Trying to look at Luke Turpin, too, because I don't know how much he's really closed in on your top three as they are on a blanket, but Rondoletto's starting to fade back. Cryer thought about looking to the inside, but didn't have any room to slingshot.
And it looks like Turpin's 2.5 seconds back right now. He is just trying to hang on, looking for something to happen. And you know, we're 130 laps in. The pack is pretty spread out at this point. And I hate to jinx it, but we've only had one caution.
That we have, and you gotta be careful. There's heavy lap traffic, and I hear somebody just popped an engine.
And also, while we're at it, Jonathan Bronson got the wall on the front straightaway as he went by. We're seeing a lot of these guys that have right side damage just from scraping the wall.
And the brake rotors as well continue to glow even more at night.
Yeah, things are definitely going to get very interesting as the brakes line up and as it gets darker and as the track temperature changes. And you got to wonder, some of these guys said that their setups were better in the dark once the track cools off. They were talking about 120 degree track temperatures at the start, and the track will drop down to as low as 100. You might not see as much brake rotor glow towards the end of the race until these guys really start pushing it those last few laps.
Two drivers side by side ahead, Robert Colgan and Brett Edgar. This is interesting how the drivers will deal with the lap traffic. That 28 car, by the way, remember the number, is 15th in standings. And oh my, Bronson sent it in on Colgan. See what Cryer does to take advantage. Doesn't risk it for 3 wide. Stays right tucked behind his spoiler. And they'll work the bottom and get by both Brett and Robert. And what I was saying, the 28 is the final car in the top 15 in standings. They need to have a good day in order to get by, in order to keep that spot. You know, as the team owner of Big Block Motorsports, one of my goals for Logan Jones was to have a great run, who's currently in 19th position. If he can beat Jonathan Bronson in this 28 and Bronson has an issue, which at the same time as the broadcaster, I want to see him win. As an owner, I want to see him fall to the back. No offense, Bronson. When he sees this, he's probably gonna give me an FU on Friday. That Jones needs to finish ahead of Bronson, and that could put all 3 big block cars in the top 15.
And that would be interesting. You've got 3 cars in the big block team. You got some teams that are just 2 cars, like Rondoletto's. He occasionally fields a 3rd team, but usually it's just 2. And then you've got cars that, like the 21 teams and the 22, all those guys, 5-car teams, 6-car teams. So the different sizes and teams and the different strategies across each of them and the way each of them runs definitely coming into play as the season comes to a close.
A couple laps ago, Alex Krapser got by Jordan Babinger for 5th position, and it looks like the window is opening up once again. Patrick Sullivan pits this time. Now, something we should mention too. I believe the fuel cap is lower compared to previous XCAL races. The fuel cap in XCAL is usually at 50%, but tonight it is set at 30%.
Yeah, and that definitely is coming into play tonight with the shorter pit window and more pit stops, between 4 to 5 stops per driver. So depending on their setup, depending on their fuel strategy, so a lot of different things could play out here. with all the different strategies and with the lighter fuel load, it also affected how some of these cars were handling coming into the night.
Now remember, amongst the top 5, the first one to pit was Octavio Rondoletto, so we should expect to see him soon. He pitted on lap 97, and we're looking at about a 50-lap fuel run.
And that is still just kind of bugging me. I have to wonder if he's going to try. He pitted on lap 97. I'm wondering how long he's going to try and extend it this time, because Rondoletto is never one to short pit. So it comes as a huge surprise that he did it this time.
And that could be a possible strategy come at lap 250. Think of it too. If we don't get a yellow for the rest of this race, these drivers are pitting near the start of the window. So we could be seeing some possible fuel mileage come into play. Some drivers may be extending the window to lap 250. Some drivers shortening their window so they pit at lap 250 to the end.
You know, Luke Turpin and Alex Krapser both can go a lot longer on fuel than anybody else right now, as it looks like starting to see some more cars come to pit road. Alex Gangler now on pit road, and yet the fuel strategy is definitely interesting, and it's just so weird seeing some different strategies out of some of these guys tonight.
Update you on Ryan Soper, currently running in the 23rd position, 3 laps down. Currently 12 drivers are on the lead lap. Bronson, Cryer, Rondoletto, Turpin, Krapser, Babinger, Holes, Montero, Foster, Bear, Birchmeyer, McRae, and look at this. Jonathan Bronson is actually going to be the first one to come in. This is surprising considering he was on fresh tires, and he pits exactly on lap 150. I think he's trying to get this his window set up at halfway.
Yeah, and it definitely seems like that. He timed that just right for the halfway point. And Kendrick Cryer now assuming the lead, and he'll pick up 5 points here as well.
And we are at the halfway point, and Higgins is still missing. So that means, do you want more Higgins the XCAL Superfan outside of the halfway point? Introducing Higgins the XCAL Spotter Pack. Over 500 messages of Higgins that can be used in any iRacing event. It's available now. To order your copy, PayPal $20 to president at xcalracing.com with note hashtag Where's Higgins. The spotter pack is rated R in everything the title implies, and use the clues hidden within the spotter pack to determine where Higgins was during his absence. First correct submission was an XCAL Racing t-shirt. And Doug, while we are out at it, what's coming up on How to Suck at iRacing?
Well, tomorrow night the Outlaws return with their Cup Series race, and then they'll have their limited late model dirt race, and we still have one more race to go in the Tyler Daniels Racing versus Nowski Nation. BRR Cup Series will be starting back up before long. In the meantime, Sunday nights will be the Outlaw Truck Series, and just for fun, because the HTSAI community raised so much for the MS awareness race, there was a challenge on the table, but I looked at it, and over this year they have raised over $1,200, including donations from XCAL and all the leagues broadcasted, that I decided they raised enough money. I'm going to go ahead and do it. So Friday night around 6 Eastern, I'll post an official time. I will go ahead and shave the beard and head.
Oh baby, we gotta see it live on camera too, right?
Yeah, my daughter will get to film me doing it while my wife takes care of it.
Awesome. Just a reminder that we are off in XCAL competition next week, but 2 weeks from now, we're going road racing. We're going to Daytona International Speedway on the road course using the infield. I don't think we're using the NASCAR chicane, but tune in August 17th. That should be a fun one. And I believe this is the first road race I will be calling in XCAL competition.
Yeah, last time we had PD at Texas Road, and it's going to be interesting because a lot of different stories play out, and you saw it play out at Texas Road several months ago, where pit stops, pit strategy, fuel strategy became a huge, huge deal, and they had multiple pit stops, very decent runs, but a lot more pit stops than what you'd expect due to the reduced fuel load, so everything got changed up all of the time.
Absolutely. We've got an exciting schedule coming up to end the season. We got the Daytona Road Course August 17th. We go to Rockingham August 24th. That's a race I'm really looking forward to. Lanier August 31st. That had an exciting finish in those final 5 laps. We go to Bristol, baby, on September 14th. The final weeks of the season, we go to Charlotte. First one is at the Legends Oval. First time we've raced on the Legends Oval this season, only time. September 21st, the season concludes Super Speedway racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That's going to be a fun ending to the season.
And, I just noticed almost everybody is getting their pit stops in, but Kendrick Cryer, Luke Turpin, Alex Krapser, Matt Bear, Mason Foster, and Trevor Birchmere, none of those guys have been to pit road, though. And now Kendrick Cryer.
Kendrick Cryer was trying to match Luke Turpin's pace, but it does not work. And Jordan Babinger is also in pit road right now. Don't know if this is really the day Babinger wants championship-wise.
Definitely not. He was fast early on, but we heard some guys talk about being fast later in the night, and Jordan definitely struggling as the track temperature comes down and as things cool off.
I'd like to take this opportunity too, by the way, and say hello to those of you chatting right now. We got 12 viewers currently on Twitch. Chase Johnson is saying, hey, oh boy, hang on. Art Hendren in the 21 just got loosey-goosey with some smoke off turn 2 I saw on my screen. Almost spun the thing out, and we could have had a caution. It was that close.
And it was right in front of Alex Krapser and Luke Turpin. Great job by Art saving the car that time, because that was extraordinarily close for the leaders.
Guess you could say that Alex nearly crapped his pants because of that.
I am sure he did.
Jonathan Bronson with a little blink out there for a moment, trying to get by Art Hendren. Man, imagine if he got in that situation. Would be a lot of bad luck.
Yeah, and a lot of side-by-side battling going on throughout the pack as everybody kind of starting to settle back in. There's some single file running and some guys taking it very easy, but a lot of guys side-by-side as they come up off pit road.
Austin Edwards just bobbled on the exit of turn 4, and Krapser goes by. Sorry to interrupt you there, Doug. Go ahead.
I was just looking back at Rondoletto, and he just came through a mess as well. Manages to get through, but a big checkup right in front of him. Not sure what was going on there, but that was a close one.
Anyway, getting back to what I was talking about, 12 viewers on Twitch. Chase Johnson says, hey, Marty. And again, a tough break from Chase after messing up his pit road entry. 37th right now, but as Tanner Kalin is back on track, Johnson will likely fall back to the 38th position. We got 12 viewers as well on iRacing, so appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. Denzer Davidson is shouting out Jordan Babinger. Wendy Stoddard rooting for Mike and sent 50 stars and flames for 2 weeks. Tessa Young says yes. Also, during the broadcast tonight, you can support Doug Burns by sending stars, a digital gift that helps him earn money.
And Tessa Young is actually saying yes as Kyle Battles crashed.
Uh-oh. And this may be a blinking situation because he's been reported as blinking a lot, so that's probably the issue right now.
Yeah, and it's bad. It's worse than what Kendrick Cryer's had recently, so I would expect to see a black flag for him. And Luke Turpin still has not pit, I do believe.
Last pitted on lap 112, so he has gone over 50 laps on this run. I need a fuel setup like Luke Turpin. Get a fuel setup, a gear setup that helps me get these long runs, because that is one of the keys to why he is an XCAL superstar.
Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder if he has Harry Hogg as his crew chief, putting a few extra miles of of tubing in that for his gas line, because he just goes so much further. I mean, in one more lap, he'll have gone 60 laps, and we knew some guys that would be able to do that. But you have to factor in, too, the previous time he went 62 laps. So he might be able to make it to 174, 175. He may be able...
Zen.
Nope, he's going to come in. I'm just sitting here thinking, nope, he cannot make it on one more stop. But he was getting really close, and now Alex Crapser taking the lead again.
Yep, absolutely. So now chat's updating a little bit. Gail Pierce is rooting for Mike Stoddard. Stoddard currently in 25th. Johnny B says right now, great racing. Well, guess what, Johnny? You missed a hell of a show after the restart. We had a lot of exciting racing, but now we are on this long run currently, and definitely has increased the pack a little bit. So right now, looking at when the field cycles through, I believe the leader would turn out to be Jonathan Bronson in the number 28. Second would be Ron DeLetto over Kendrick Cryer. Currently, that's the battle for 7th, but provisionally, that's the battle for runner-up.
And it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny seeing Bronson, who will take the lead, right in front of the current leader, Alex Crapser, who is just right there behind him. So a lot of different strategies out here on the track right now. And Jason Rome drops in and says, "Go Doug Burns." Leave it to Jason.
Luke Turpin exiting pit road. Let's see if he can get in front of Jordan Babinger, and I think he can. So Turpin is 8th. Babinger is 10th. That'll all change momentarily. And Greg Holes is 9th, who pitted on 155.
And so many different fuel strategies, and they're changing more and more every cycle of pit stops.
Yeah, you just absolutely never know what's going to happen. They seem to be changing like every 5 laps or something.
Yeah, the strategies just keep changing, and you got to wonder how many of these guys. I mean, they're like we said, they had 150 lap minimum practice this week, and they had 50 lap heats, so they didn't get a lot of strategy practice out there. So you got to wonder how much strategy planning they did, and then how much the race changed that strategy planning. But definitely seeing some oddities as far as strategies going.
This battle is heating up really well. If you're Kendrick Cryer thinking, I'm faster than Octavia Rondeletto, how do I get by him? Do you think about using the bumper at this time on lap 175, or do you think he waits? And Cryer too, I'll mention this real quick. He's a respected driver in XCAL.
I think Cryer's going to wait. He's probably thinking, I'll wait till Rondeletto makes a mistake, but I don't think we see Rondeletto make a mistake. So he's going to be patient and almost looks to the high side as they go off on 3 I believe it's Matt Baer just came off pit road right in front of him.
Absolutely. And it looks like with Rondeletto right now, when he's in that lap traffic, his car looks a little bit tighter than Cryer. Would you agree?
Yeah, he's definitely pushing up, especially off the turn. We talked about early in the race, everybody being loose off the turn. Now the cars are starting to get some grip as the sun goes down and the track cools down. And this track has some pretty big temperature swings in it. So, these guys, they could be running 10, maybe more degrees cooler right now. As right in front of Matt Baer, somebody got loose coming off turn 2, and now they're...
I think that was Joe Campbell in the number 4, who is side by side with Pistol Pud.
Are they really thinking about trying 3 wide now? I mean, you can drive the corners 3 wide, but it is not advisable.
Absolutely. This is heavy traffic, and Campbell wicked tight off turn 2, clips the wall 3 wide. Cryer should get by with no issues, but this is going to be a tough turn 3 and 4 for him.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
I was going to say, Pud got out of it just enough to let Cryer get clear of him there, and now it is Johnny B to the lead.
So Jonathan Bronson, nearly a 9-second lead on Octavia Rondeletto. We'll come back after this. You're watching the K2 Sauces 300 on How to Suck at iRacing. Double in turn 4 that brings the yellow out. John Friley and Sean Patrick have collided. And Sean Patrick, a lot of front bumper damage. And the left front is above the ground. So there's definitely suspension damage. John Friley as well. Looking a little clean, but definitely has probably some damage inside of the number 06. Let's take a look and see what happened on the replay.
It looks like the 78 got a little bit of the apron, got a wiggle, got into the 22, sent the 22 up the hill. Friley had nowhere to go. He couldn't avoid it at all as the 22 was just completely sideways. And heavy damage you can see there on the 22. Friley has significant damage as well, but he still has a front bumper, at least for the moment.
Right behind the leader, Jonathan Bronson.
And
think about that.
That could change the whole strategy. Some of these guys that were really extending those runs now, like Luke Turpin, this could benefit them. He could pit now. Well, doing some quick math in my head here. He could pit now and then stretch it almost to lap 250.
It would be probably about a 2-stop race for Luke Turpin. So, Doug, I'll ask you this and see where the producer, and I don't know of anything that's going on. Did we make the entire break, or did we come back early?
We came back just a minute early.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just had a little bit of one left.
So let's go back and take that break once again. When we come back, we'll recap what happened. Welcome back to USA International Speedway here. 186 laps are in the books. This time it's going to be 187. Been a great race so far. Just finishing up our second yellow of the day for a wreck with Sean Patrick and John Friley. Let's recap what happened. Ezekiel Montero glitched and receives the black flag. The 3 waves go to Tyler McRae, Trevor Birchmeyer, and Dwayne Robinson. We're going to extend this yellow. And while we extend that, let's talk about Sim Racer Coin. Sim Racing Esports meets crypto and blockchain technology. Earn Sim Racer coins, buy setups, paints, coaching, or join realistic leagues. Learn more at simracercoin.org. Sim Racer Coin. Racing is life. So we're going to have 11 drivers on the lead lap. And Luke Turpin came in on lap 171. The top 2 stayed out. Turpin and Crapser. Now they've been working on the long run strategy.
It's going to be really interesting because a lot of the lead lap cars did not pit. And we know Crapser and Turpin can go a ways on what they have. I mean, we know Turpin can go as much as 62 laps. So interesting strategy here. This the pace laps obviously extending how many laps they can go. It raises the question, if there's enough pace laps, how close can Luke Turpin get to making this a one-stop race? How close can Alex Crapser get to making this a one more stop race? I mean, these guys have got to be right there kind of close to the bubble on that.
I think they could make it on one stop, likely. So this race could come down between the top 2. Rondeletto won the race off pair road over Bronson, so they're in row 2, 3, and 4. Jordan Babinger is 5th with Kendrick Cryer in 6th in row 3. And then 7th, Tyler McRae. 8th, Trevor Birchmeyer. 9th is Dwayne Robinson. And Austin Edwards is in 10th.
And another issue with them being packed back up is they're back in a pack.
Absolutely, and here we go, back to green. 110 laps to go as Turpin gets the right to fire first. A little bit of a scattered start into turn 1, and here comes Ron Deletto, he wants second.
Yeah, Rondeletto fighting back, and I don't think Crapser's going to fight him too hard on this. I could be wrong, but Crapser knows he's got a fast car and knows he can extend that fuel mileage. There's no reason for him to battle, but Jonathan Bronson right there on the back bumper of Crapser. He has got a fast piece tonight. He might be the one to watch for the win.
And let's tell you this too, Ron Deletto, Cryer, and Bronson have been making short runs currently. They pitted on lap 184, so that would put them at about 234, I want to say. So it would be close. I don't think that would be enough to make it, so they would likely need a caution if they want to get back in the hunt. Meanwhile, Jordan Babinger is in 5th. And by the way, let's add this too. Fastest lap just happened. Luke Turpin, a 22.78. That is huge. He just took 5 bonus points away from Jordan Babinger. Keep that in mind.
So this battle may come down to the last race. The way the last few races have been, Babinger closing up on Turpin every week. But now they're right there where every lap led counts. And it's worth noting, Turpin led earlier in the race. And he's leading again now, and he's running away from the field right now. He could end up leading the most laps here tonight as well. So a lot could change. He could extend that points lead a little bit after Babinger gaining so much ground the last month or so.
Yeah, we don't know who leads the most laps until after the race when iRacing officially tells us. But I would say currently Luke Turpin has it, as here we go for second. Kendrick Cryer takes it from Octavio Rondeletto. Does Rondeletto cross over? He tries to, but Cryer thought he slammed the door, but Rondeletto says, now Cryer slams the door in his face.
And Jonathan Bronson gives Rondeletto a little love tap in the middle of the corner. Everybody keeps going the right way, but that was crazy. Rondeletto trying to make sure he didn't cause a wreck, and Leto has gone off track.
Trouble for Jeremy Leto in the 17, was in the 23rd position. Comes back on track, was off for about 5 seconds, and a change for third. Rondeletto is falling back. This is not what Octavio wants currently, unless Babinger lets him tuck down low in line, but Babinger needs points at the same time.
And it looked like from the replay, Leto had a little bit of help, a little bit of door slamming. We talked about how patient guys were being early, but we did say after about lap 150, expect to see more bumpers, expect to see more door slamming, and here you have it. And now Rondeletto crossing over.
Oh, be careful, Jordan. On the apron goes Octavio, and there's some marbles there on the bottom. Trouble for Matt Bear. Matt Bear has crashed. Nope. Let's take a look here real quick. Yep, there was a crash. It's another checkup, and Gardino gets into the 19 and into Patrick Sullivan, and surprisingly, no yellow. Sullivan forced into pit road. Caution does not come out.
What a close call it was for several drivers up there, and definitely an interesting situation to not have the caution come out, but a lot of cars checking up and a lot of cars going backwards, and that was right in the area where we had Pistol Pud running as well. So glad he was able to avoid it. Pistol Pud not having the triumphant return he was hoping for, but a great return, a consistent run tonight in 24th. So he's definitely can pick up some positions still. I know he's just happy to be back on track.
Take a look here. I'm curious with what the Discord general has been saying. So Daniel Miller, reason why he's done, his net died as practice ended, so that's why he's currently in the back. Chase Johnson saying, why frustrating, pit road again. And that's all we have to tell you for right now. Cryer blinking once again in the 15, Bronson third, Babinger fourth. Rondeletto was able to find a hole in front of Alex Krapser in fifth position. But how about the job for Alex Krapser tonight? He's impressed a lot of people, staying inside this top 10 pretty much the entire race, and he's going for fifth.
Yeah, and he's done this every week. Not to mention, as we talked about earlier, he's picked up bonus points every race he has been in for leading a lap. So he is doing an outstanding job, and you got to bet that car owner is happy to have him on board.
Absolutely, and Rondeletto in some trouble nearly with the two cars behind him. There is a car that separates, actually a couple of cars rather, that separate Rondeletto and Birchmeyer, but he's facing some pressure from a driver. That's 36. That's Tanner Kalin in the 03 machine, and had a blown engine and his back just trying to get some laps made up.
Yeah, and with some of the chaos going on, you got to think Tanner still has the opportunity to pick up a few positions before this is all said and done. Over 100 laps left to go, and he's currently being scored about 80 laps, or 70 laps down, excuse me. So he could still, if somebody wrecks out in the next 20, 30 laps, he could still pick up some positions for his team. And as team points accumulate, you know, he's definitely wanting to do everything he can this late in the season.
I'll tell you this, as we look at the top 15 standings, the 03 came in, I want to say that's 52 above the cutoff between him and actually not 52 above the top 15. That's just like 120 above. And so the 03 should likely stay inside the top 15. The 28, with how he's doing, with how Bronson's doing, will stay inside the top 15. I'm a little bit curious, though, on Chase Johnson with him in 38th, and the gap between him and the 08 coming into tonight was about 80-something. And Logan Jones running in 15th. This could be big for the 08.
And, you know, I just noticed something. The 03 was a little bit faster than Rondeletto, but he ended up accidentally bumping Rondeletto into one of the corners and wisely moved up, backed out of it. You're talking about a guy in the 77 car that's still in the points battle here later in the season, and wise move by the 03 to back out, let some other cars get by who are battling for position, and just try and turn laps here.
Absolutely. And trying to find the best battle on the racetrack.
That would be about for third, fourth, and fifth, as
yes,
Bronson, Babinger, and Krapser all right there nose to tail. And Krapser loses a little bit on corner entry, but he keeps getting the run up off the corner, and he's going to get to the inside of Babinger before long.
Babinger in fourth position, got squirrely off of turn 2, excuse me, and Krapser did not use it to his advantage.
No, a bit of a surprise there, but you know, he's playing it a little bit safe. He thought he was going to lose more momentum than that, and now they've got a lap car in the way, and this might help Krapser a little bit. That's the 21 of Art Hendren on the high side, slowed up the 48 for a second. Cryer really blinking again.
Apparently, with hearing on Will Petey, Joe Campbell is not happy at somebody, and that is no surprise. On to lap 200, currently on lap 213, and lap 200 was brought to you by K2 Sauce, the official sauce of XCAL Racing. It's an everything sauce, from barbecue to steak to ketchup and more, all in one. The only sauce you ever need, also available in hot, and coming soon, Southern Style. Man, Doug, when are we going to get our Southern Style K2 sauce? Because I'm interested in trying that out. It seems like it's got a little, maybe, I don't know what the Southern Style difference is, but it seems to me it's got like some honey difference.
That's kind of what I was thinking. And yeah, I'm sitting here getting hungry. I had some barbecue pork with K2 last night for dinner, and as soon as this is over, I'm going for the same thing. I would have loved to have had that Southern Style available last night, and tonight for that matter.
You know, I had some family over earlier tonight. They're from the Massachusetts area, and I gave them some K2 sauce to take home with them to try it out, because it is some really good stuff.
And an interesting little note is Kendrick Cryer is closing the gap on Luke Turpin. He is now just 1.5 seconds back. Jonathan Bronson, Turpin ran away early on, had over 2 seconds, and now that gap is starting to close yet again.
I think the reason because of that was lap traffic. Turpin got caught up in it a little bit. He was telling somebody earlier to pay attention, and the gap is just about 1.6 seconds on Kendrick Cryer. Looks like the best battle on track is the battle for 7th between Austin Edwards and Trevor Birchmeyer. Edwards has done a good job recovering from being a lap down to the last car in the lead lap, and he's been able to fight his way back as Birchmeyer got very tight and actually cost himself another spot to Dwayne Robinson. How about the job the 14 has been doing? Normally a back marker, but this is a great night for Robinson. His best performance in XCAL by far.
Yeah, and he is definitely putting on a show here. Still on the lead lap in 8th place and picking up positions here and there. He might be able to pull off a top 5 if his strategy works out here tonight. As they hit lap 220, they're going to have to make one more stop, and he's 3 wide on the bottom as Art Hendren is up by the wall. But he's keeping it smooth and smart.
Greg Hull's in the middle. So Luke Turpin leads with 81 laps to go over Kendrick Cryer. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to USA International Speedway. And something I noticed, by the way, when we are on the break. Let's go on board for a lap with Luke Turpin starting now. Listen to the car entering turn 3 and look at the RPM. Saving fuel.
Yeah, he is not pushing that car hardly at all. He's getting out. Normally, at this track in these cars, you would get on the brakes right about that light on the front straightaway and about that light right there. He's getting out of the gas before he gets to the light at both ends of the track and rolling out of it, and he's slow rolling back up into it. So he is definitely trying to stretch that fuel mileage.
And what he's doing is he's pushing the clutch in order to save fuel. That's a strategy that a lot of professional drivers have done. If you listen to Kendrick Cryer's on board, he's pushing it. Like, not pushing the clutch, but he's trying to save fuel, but not with the clutch. That's my point. He's trying to drive it hard, and as we compare the laps, Cryer is... This time Turpin was actually 500ths faster, but Cryer is trying to pull his way forward.
Yeah, and Cryer, you see it there on the tack. He is pushing way more RPMs, and as he clips the wall, he is pushing it a lot harder, a lot deeper into the corner, and getting a lot better run up off. But I have to see if the strategies pay off here tonight as we're closing in on the final part of the race. These guys, one more stop for a lot of these guys.
Look at the onboard as well on Alex Krapser, who is battling for second spot, the rear bumper of Kendrick Cryer. That makes me laugh so hard. The FU list for Fridays.
He's got quite a list, and I gotta wonder, does that change on a weekly basis?
I'm curious too. Let's read this for you. His FU list for Fridays. JBR, or dropping bombs, but not Jordan Babinger, Joe Campbell, Joe Campbell's on there, Chase Johnson, Kamala Harris, Jeremy Leto, Tyler Jalbert, Dr. Fauci, Joe Biden, Kersey Junn, Pay to Win, Sean English.
It's pretty funny.
Paint scheme of the year, my friends. Paint scheme of the year, and you can see as well, he is promoting Trump 2024, just going to send it 2021, make America great again. Oh, man. Sometimes you love these paint schemes, but drivers are on pit road. Right now, Octavio Rondeletto is in for his penultimate stop. He won't have enough to go the distance. The big question, too, something that just came to my mind as well here, Doug, if some of these drivers have to make it a two-stop race, do they possibly just take less fuel and not do a four-tire full-field pit stop? Because that's what we saw last week at Texas.
Yeah, they're definitely, if they know they've got about 65 laps to go, they know they got to split that. They've got to make two stops, so might as well make two of them as short as possible. Right sides are no tires and just enough fuel to get to the next stop. But in another 2 laps, Luke Turpin will be able to go the distance from that point, as will Alex Krapser. So those two guys definitely going to be stretching it as far as they can here tonight.
That's over a 60-lap run, and Krapser can push it, too. He's been pushing it more than Luke Turpin has, and the gap is cut down to 3/4 of a second. Oh, trouble, Jeremy Leto! Leto in front of Turpin! Lost the front bumper, pitting in. Could this be a debris caution?
Doesn't look like it. Looks like they're going to stay green. He managed to keep everything on the bottom there, so hopefully we stay green. That would have been perfect timing for Turpin and Krapser, but a lot of guys would have been caught down a lap because of it.
Was running inside the top 20. So take a look at chat real quick. Say hello to a few people. Jason Coleman, you said earlier, what up, Doug? Chris Johnson, rooting for Austin Edwards. Jason Rail, he said that too. Go Doug Burns. Danielle Sargent, rooting for JNS Racing. Danny's Game Changers on JNS 2. Jason Coleman, it does happen often, but my Dixie wrecked today. On the Twitch side, Johnny B says, great broadcasting, Doug and Marty. Keep up the great work. Turpin coming in pit road.
And he can go from here.
Yep, he can go from here. You just know it. It's Luke Turpin. So this gives Kendrick Cryer the race lead, and this is the battle for the top spot between Cryer and Krapser. Now, if a yellow comes out before the full field cycles through, it's probably not what Turpin would want to see, just like last week.
Well, if it does, at least in this situation, he'll be the only car that does not have to pit and try and make something happen.
True.
He can stay out, and when everybody else hits their green flag stops, he won't. And that actually might give him, if he's back on the track and starting to pick up positions and a caution comes out, that might actually give him a very, very big advantage as the two leaders having to battle with some lap traffic now, but both of them continue to extend it. And we know Krapser from here, he should be able to go the distance from this point forward.
Absolutely. Now, we'll have to watch lap 250 closely because I think we'll see a herd of cars coming into the pits.
Definitely, as a lot of guys are on pit road now, but anybody at lap 250, anybody can go the distance from there.
The gap is about...
Ryan Seams just crashed multiple cars.
Oh no, Ryan Seams! Off the track, and a third yellow is out with Greg Holes, and I don't think that's what Turpin wants. However, though, he can go the rest of the way scot-free. Krapser will have to pit.
And it looks like the 131 just got down, got into the side of the 96 car, and Luke Turpin was coming off pit road.
Oh my goodness! Nowhere to go for the provisional point. I don't even think he suffered damage at all.
No, he just had to stop because if he had, he did catch. Let's take another angle at this.
I'm watching the cause with Ryan Seams. I think it was Greg Holes. Nope, Seams bumps Foster.
Yep.
And it's a stack up from there.
And Turpin does tap just a little bit on the 131 there.
If he exits pit road, because if he goes right to the track before he hits the blue line, that's a penalty.
And
so,
what a mess this has turned into. Luke Turpin, as we mentioned, he will still be able to go the distance, so that might be his advantage right now. And we were talking about it at lap 250. We were expecting a whole lot of guys stopping. I guarantee you some guys stop that here now. Even if they were on the edge, these pace laps will give them the distance. I think everybody should be able to go from here, and Luke Turpin's going to catch the losing end of this.
We'll have to see. And we just got a disqualification to Ryan Seams that he already had one strike for not making MMP. Seams will finish in 41st position tonight.
Bit of a heartbreak for Seams, and definitely not the situation. Once everybody cycles through, we'll have to see where Turpin's going to end up. But you know, it was the worst possible timing for that caution to come out for him.
We'll have to figure out closely where he's going to restart. Right now, he's currently in the 11th position, and some of the drivers are pitting on lap 243. That would be 57 laps. For some drivers, it would be close. For guys like Alex Krapser, he could go to the finish. Is this what Krapser needs?
It could be, but I think you're looking at everybody can go the distance. Even though even the guys that were close can go the distance from here because of the pace laps, and it's there might be one or two guys that can get less than what they need, but the majority are going to be able to make the distance here, and things are about to get really, really interesting as the top 10 may get completely shook up here.
Yes, I think as well, with how many laps we have to go and they're going to the finish, I think the racing is going to get just a little bit more aggressive, kind of like what we saw on the restart after the first yellow.
Oh, definitely. And right now, Babinger is being scored in the lead while Turpin is being scored back in 10th. So the points just got flip-flopped again.
And check this out. Babinger is going to get 5 bonus points. So, and the fastest lap of the race still belongs to Luke Turpin. So Turpin currently with maybe 10 or 15 bonus points. Babinger with 10 bonus points. But with him being in the points lead currently, being the leader, Babinger would be the points lead with Luke Turpin in 10th. And Turpin is 2 laps down. And I think should get a wave here. I'm checking real quick. He did get a wave around for being in front of the leader. As we take a look at the waves for the yellow, Austin Edwards and Octavio Rondeletto should get back on the lead lap. But this yellow does help 2 guys mainly, Alex Krapser and Jordan Babinger.
Yeah, Babinger definitely going to love this. And he's got the chance on the restart. He'll have clean air. Could he lay down an even faster lap? He had the fastest lap for a long time. Could he, now that it's cooler out, now that the engine's running a little smoother, now that he's got a little bit more grip and he's got that clean air, could he pull off a faster lap and get himself more bonus points here tonight? It's just an up and down situation right now with everything that's happened.
We're about to find out what happens. Jordan Babinger, Kendrick Cryer, row 1. Alex Krapser, Trevor Birchmeyer, row 2. 5th is Jonathan Bronson. Only 5 cars on the lead lap, and we're going one more lap. And it's because of big gaps.
Yeah, and it looks like they got everything back lined out. Yep, lights are out on the pace car, so we will go green this time, and we will go green with about 51 laps to go. Do believe everybody can go the distance from here on fuel. Luke Turpin now being scored 1 lap down. If another caution comes out, he'll get back around. He is in that position barely, but things are going to get very interesting very quickly here.
Here we go back to green, and race control was warning the 78 for not filling in the gap. And I believe he was supposed to be in the inside line possibly, unless his heads-up display said the outside, and they were getting very mad at him for it. But Babinger leads Kendrick Cryer, and the battle is on for not just that, but the battle for third possibly.
Yeah, as Krapser has been one of the fastest cars on the track, he is now in 4th, and he's got Trevor Birchmeyer right in front of him. It's the first time Trevor's really been up at the front under green flag, not pitting conditions. So definitely interesting to see him back up there as well. And it looks like we may get another caution as we've got 2 cars have wrecked.
Mason Foster and Ryan Seams have crashed. And this is interesting because they're still oh, nope, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong person. It was Tanner Kalin and Robert Colgan. Kalin, by the way, just received a black flag. I believe it was for changing lanes, and he was getting ready to come into pit road. Then Colgan! My, oh my, he just lost it. So it was a 2-car situation, and both of them are in pit road. Meanwhile, top 3 battling for the race lead. Down the front straight or back chute.
Yeah, and the 21 car gets caught in that again. No luck for the 21 car. He just keeps getting caught in everything that happens.
That is Art Hendren once again. Robert Colgan was running inside the top 15 when trying to miss Tanner. He got loose for the lead. Prior to the inside.
And if you're Babinger, you're not going to fight this too terribly hard. He is not. He's going to try and slide back in. He's got a teammate right there, but he can't give up too many positions. Luke Turpin currently running in 7th place, and he needs as many points as he can get coming out of here. So it'll be interesting to see how these teammates play out. The 78 now getting to the inside. He is a lap down.
This would be a great story for Kendrick Cryer if he could get it done, but the fuel remains in question, looking for his first win this season. He would become the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, the 11th different winner in XCAL Racing this season.
Which is pretty impressive considering we've got one driver with, 8 wins now.
Absolutely. Bronson just reporting on the radio, currently in 5th position. He's currently the biggest mover of the race, is saving fuel.
Interesting, because mathematically nobody should be short on fuel at this point. Everybody should be able to go the distance. I did say 1 or 2 might not be able to, but if Bronson can't, that begs the question, what about the rest of the DBR cars?
That is not a battle for second. Birchmeyer letting a faster car go by. That's Ezekiel Montero, currently in 13th, but a change for third here. It's Krapser down low.
Krapser gets clear pretty early, and the 48 is still going backwards. Fortunately, those are lap cars underneath him, but At 48, definitely not as fast since the restart.
You will not believe this. It has taken us 258 laps complete, and finally we have our first chat disabled of the night. Kyle Bartels just had his chat disabled. First one tonight. That's an XCAL record, I would assume, this season.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I think the current standing record for most chat bans in a race is 8. So.
Actually, the record's everyone once.
Oh, that's right.
I forgot what race it was. I know I was driving and everyone got their chat banned because there were too many. But anyway, Montero going inside. Now I'm looking at the tire situation. Nope, but this is going to heat up a battle for the race lead between Cryer and Birchmeyer. Birchmeyer also looking for his first win this season. Top 3 all going for their first win. Babinger, meanwhile, championship update. He's in 4th. Luke Turpin is in 7th. That is going through. It should be a 15-point difference. Actually, it is a 13-point difference. So 4 minus 13 would be a 9-point gain. And so Jordan Babinger would have the lead by 5 points approximately, but then you add all the bonus points. 5 bonus points for Babinger, 10 bonus points. The points would be tied at the moment. That would be my guess. That's unofficial. Points, by the way, will be officially updated Wednesday night at xcalracing.com. Hang on, John Fraley, on the apron where the marbles are.
Yeah, it looked like he might have been trying to get to pit road and just barely missed, but unfortunately,
trouble turn 4. Josh Doobie has crashed.
Turpin was right there when Friley went to the bottom. And a heartbreak for Doobie after winning in his XCAL debut. He gets a little tap, I believe, from Matt Bear. Manages to save that car, though.
Absolutely keeps it going without too much damage, and a change for 4th too. Jonathan Bronson getting by Jordan Babinger. That is huge. That is not what he wants. And Turpin currently in 6th spot. If a yellow were to come out, he would be the first car to get a wave.
And the way things are going, it would not surprise me to see one more yellow before the night's out.
Same here. 5 drivers on the lead lap. Could it be 8 at the end? We'll have to see. So don't count Luke Turpin out just yet. Babinger is in 4th, and that is a 5. That is in 5th. Excuse me. Turpin in 6th. That is a 4-point gain for Jordan Babinger. So the points would be tied there, but then you got to count the bonus points too. It would be a 5-point lead for Luke Turpin, unofficially.
So close that every position is changing the points.
Yes. So Babinger is fading back big time, and he just blinked too. So that makes matters for worse. And look how far he is trailed behind Jonathan Bronson. I think Babinger is trying to save fuel.
And again, really surprised by some of these cars we're seeing save fuel right now that shouldn't need to. They've got to be extremely, extremely close, but I am a bit surprised to see anybody needing to save fuel here.
Battle for the lead could heat up here. Krapser closing in on Cryer. This could be the closest that Krapser has been able to make a green flag, a pass on the track on someone else who's also on the track for the lead.
Yeah, it could be the first time that these guys, that Krapser gets a lead in this situation. Normally, he is extending his fuel run to pick up some bonus points. And, hey, with all those bonus points he's picked up this season, he's definitely making his way forward in the points overall, despite coming in later in the season.
30 laps to go. Don't miss out. When we come back, we're taking you to the finish.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
"25 laps remain here at USA, and we've got an intense battle for the lead. Kendrick Cryer and Alex Krebs are battling. You know Krebs can make it, but Cryer, who knows? However, though, and that is the second battle on track, but Doug believes that Cryer is good to go the rest of the way.
Yeah, I really am surprised by some of these guys that are backing out and trying to save fuel, because I think everybody should be to the good at this point. So it'll be interesting, but I think Cryer can make it. But Crapser has been faster all night, and the question is going to be, can Cryer hold him off from getting around him, from setting up for a pass? And if it gets down to the last 5 or 10 laps, is Crapser going to use the bumper?
Who knows what could happen? Let's compare the season stats between the top two. Cryer has raced in all the races this season, one top 5, and that top 5 came, as I go through, at USA. Finished second in this race to Chase Johnson. Has raced in all of them this season. As for Alex Krapser, this is only his 6th XCAL start. One top 5, 3 top 10s. Best finish was second at Irwindale. An Irwindale outer, a little bit similar to USA, kind of. It's a long, short track, and he is hunting down at the race leader. Compare the lap times. It was a 22.91, 22.87 advantage Cryer. Or excuse me, 23.14 Crapser, 23.17 for Cryer. Comparing the sectors here, Crapser is faster in all situations. So when does Crapser try to make the move?
He has to wait till the last possible minute to make that move, because if he makes it too soon, he's going to overshoot and allow Cryer a chance back by. But if he makes it too terribly late, you know, he's just not going to be able to get the pass completed. He can take advantage of some of this lap traffic possibly, but it's going to be very, very close and a very interesting situation for both of them. And of course the bumper comes into question as well if Cryer tries blocking too terribly much, especially in that last 5 laps. Once no more cautions, what could happen there?
That is heavy lap traffic. And the way the 78, by the way, of Montero has raced drivers tonight has been very aggressive. Regardless if he's in the lead lap or if he's a lapped car. Like Ryan Newman, kind of. One driver that needs a caution badly before lap 290 is Mr. Luke Turpin. Update on real quick. Trevor Birchmeyer having issues with the car, and he's fallen back. He had to pit.
That definitely hurts. He was one that was running up in the top 5 there the last 20-30 laps, and looked like he had a fast race car, but obviously not the way he wanted this race to end after having a great run.
Cryer informing the 78 to move. And right now, the 78 in Montero not doing anything about it.
Per XCAL rules, he has to move. He is 2 or 3 laps down now. So, yeah, he finally jumps up high.
Class from him. Let the top 2 battle it out. 15 laps to go. The next car, by the way, is 1.6 seconds back, and that's Jonathan Bronson in 3rd. Looking for some good luck to turn around on his end.
Hey, Jonathan Bronson has had a heck of a race tonight any way you look at it. He's been up at the front all night, having a good run out of that car. A top 3 would be awesome for him here tonight.
Rapser is waiting closely. 14 laps left. They catch up to the lap car of Brett Edgar, who's in 19th. And we'll let the drivers go by, but Cryer running a lower line here. Better entry for Crapser here. As Brett goes out of the way, let's see if the 29 does something about it. I think I saw some sparks fly there, Doug. Oh, contact with Brett.
And that got a little bit exciting there for a moment as these guys are battling. It looked like Crapser was going to make a move under Cryer there. He's starting to set up for that pass.
What do you like, chat? Do you like Kendrick Cryer? Do you like Alex Crapser? Or do you like the field? 12 laps remain at USA International Speedway. Your top 2 looking for their first career XCAL Racing win.
And it's worth noting at 10 laps to go, there will be no more wave rounds. If that caution doesn't come out, Luke Turpin's chance at a win is over. 5 laps to go, no cautions no matter what happens on track.
Rapser had a nose underneath, but Cryer shut the door on him. 11 laps left. There is a blinking car. Jordan Babinger in 4th. Remember, he's trying to save fuel, and Luke Turpin is not far behind for championship implications.
This could get really dicey for the championship battle as Luke Turpin is just not that far back. And if Babinger doesn't pay attention, Turpin could get back up there. And we know Turpin is always good on fuel as Babinger really blinking right in front of the leaders.
And to go, no more waves. That will likely end the chances for Luke Turpin. Babinger lets the top 2 go by with great class. Crapser still trying to find a way to get by Cryer unless he is waiting, but he is stuck in his prey big time.
With a whole lot of lap traffic up ahead, Crapser better think about doing something really quick. I know I said you wait to as long as you possibly can, but that lap traffic is probably going to hurt any chance unless he can just move Kendrick up the track.
And Bronson has cut the lead down to 0.6 of a second. This is a 3-car battle for the win. 8 laps left.
Art Hendren on the high side, letting the leaders go by. Nice move.
Thought about looking, doesn't go for it. Go ahead.
And yeah, the Crapser is starting to let him know, and you got to wonder if Crapser has something up his sleeve to be showing that early.
7 laps left. Bronson has closed the gap down to half a second. A car length separates Crapser and Bronson. If Bronson looks inside, that could end the night for Crapser possibly. Bronson is trying to stalk both of them. 6 to go at the stripe.
Now that Bronson's in this mix, everything's going to get a lot more exciting. He definitely has a fast race car to run these 2 guys down, and he's had to come through all the same lap traffic as they did, and he is still right there with them. He's looking to the high side. Oh!
Shutting the door, Crapser goes outside in front of lap traffic. This is going to get good. 3-car battle for the race lead. This time by, there goes Bronson. Bronson to the wall. Here we go, green. He saves it though, luckily, and he stays in 3rd. And it's a 2-car battle for the win.
It looked like he got loose and a tap at the same time. It just sent him down to that inside wall. We'll have to see if his car is just as fast. Now Crapser looking to the outside.
Crapser trying to do it the hard way. Cryer hugging the bottom. That's the best way around. 4 laps left. They are drag racing into turn 1.
And Crapser carrying a lot of momentum. And he is actually picking up speed out of turn 2. They're going to be equal coming down, and it body checking.
Get together. And Cryer keeps the lead. Krapser's in the marbles. That's going to help Cryer a little bit. 3 laps to go.
I'm thinking it looked like Cryer was coming up to try and just kill any momentum he got. He got into the side of Krapser a little bit, sent him into the wall, and he definitely killed the momentum. But now he's shown Krapser what he's going to do. Krapser might be putting the bumper to Cryer here in a lap or two.
Not be surprised. What are you thinking in the mind of Alex Krapser with 2 laps left after making contact with Kendrick Cryer? Krapser still closing in. He's there. Half a car length separate him.
He's going to send it right into it.
This time by. The white flag in the air. 1 to go. 2 horses going at it. Kendrick Cryer, Alex Krapser. Who's going to win their first XCAL race? We're about to find out. Both of them running the lower line, but lap traffic ahead. Krapser, does he possibly use the bumper in the final corners? Cryer going to play defense. Krapser goes the hard way around into turn 3. This door-to-door. Final time around. Cryer on the inside. Krapser on the outside. Cryer puts Krapser in the wall. And that destroys Cryer and they spin. Kendrick Cryer, shades of Darlington.
That was exactly what I was thinking. Darlington with, who was that kid way back in the day? What a finish, side by side. Cryer was just pushing him into the wall, making sure he couldn't get any momentum, and pulls off the win. Alex Krapser, heck of a fight back, and he almost had it. If he hadn't drove up onto the wall, he might have had the momentum there on the outside.
Sir did it the clean way, the harder way around, but Cryer wanted to win more. 2 drivers refusing to lose. Kendrick Cryer from second in the first race at USA to the win, his first career XCAL victory.
Not to mention starting in 23rd and coming home in first. And another driver who picked up several positions tonight and has a good finish. The Pistol Pud comes home 20th.
By the way, listen to this. Luke Turpin was able to get by Jordan Babinger. 4th place finish. Babinger finishes 6th, and without question, Turpin extends the points lead on Babinger. That is huge towards the championship.
Yeah, that is definitely a big night for Turpin. He's got to be happy in that race car.
Wow. 0.08 of a second is the margin of victory. Actually, 0.096 according to iRacing. But wow, what a finish. We're getting ready to talk with your top 3. That is, without question, the best finish of the season. And a great race as a whole, too. You can't forget about that.
Definitely,
So,
it was a battle for every position all night tonight. Alex Krapser did a heck of a job there at the end as well. And Jonathan Bronson, we haven't said much about it, started in 35th and comes home 3rd on strategy and a really fast race car and was battling for the lead there at the end.
biggest mover of the race as well.
By a landslide.
Yeah. That was close. We're going to try and get your top 3 into the green room. Kendrick Cryer, Alex Krapser, and Jonathan Bronson. And we're trying to find them, though. Figure this out here. We'll put Krapser into the green room. Gotta find Jonathan Bronson. And here there's Cryer. He's in the green room. And we need Bronson as well, if we can find him. There he is. And we will put them all in the green room. First guy, though, I would like to talk with, though, is Luke Turpin. And, Doug, you've got Luke Turpin, who extends the points lead, and this is big for him.
Hey, Luke, my first question is, I'm estimating you got about 63 laps on the tank. Was that about right? Oh, he disappeared on us.
Yep, he went back to Rolling Thunder Racing. I'm assuming Turpin is not happy at the moment and probably does not want to talk with us. Let's see if we can talk with Babinger here, though, Doug.
Hey, Jordan, you came home sixth tonight. A great run, but not what you wanted there at the end. How short were you on fuel?
I was one lap to the good. I was saving for 50 laps there. Yeah, it was. I really didn't want to let Luke and Octavio by, but there's nothing I could do. I just had to keep letting the guys go by.
Well,
Didn't cut it any closer.
I was going to say, how much harder could you have fought Luke there? But one lap to the good, probably not much more.
Exactly. Yep. That was all I had for fuel saving. And but if we would have had fuel, we could have been there with them at the end. I know Jonathan was running with them pretty good, but it was a overall good night.
Well, you did get some laps led. You got some bonus points tonight. So still, even with a sixth place finish, it's not going to be a huge jump for Luke Turpin tonight. So you're still in that fight, and you got a long way to go.
Yep, we're gonna keep putting the fight to him.
All right, man. Congratulations. Great race, buddy.
Yep, thanks a lot, guys.
So Jordan Babinger with a sixth place finish. Unfortunately, not the day he wanted. I'm going to try and see here. Nope, never mind. I thought I saw Turpin in Greenwood for a moment. But we're going to start by talking with our third place finisher, Jonathan Bronson. Remember, Bronson coming to 5 laps to go. Got a part of contact there. Luckily made a nice save. Jabroni, I'll just start off with that. Just from your perspective, what happened there?
Well, we obviously had a faster car. We did really good on the fuel mileage, and we were coming up through the field. And I got right next to the 29 car of Alex Crabtree. Then I don't know. I don't know if I came up or he came down, but just got sent to the inside wall. Honestly, thought we could have won if that didn't happen.
Just hard racing as a whole between you and Crapser and Cryer coming to the line?
Yeah, pretty much you can say that. After I got in the inside wall, I had no chance. I just hoped they were gonna wreck each other after that.
And you just brought it up as well. You had a car that could win. How much faster were you compared to the top two? Obviously, they were losing momentum because they were battling for the lead, and you were firing steam.
Well, I don't know how they were on fuel mileage, but we were good with about 25 to go, so I started going from there. And we made up about 2 seconds in like 20 laps, so we had some pretty good speed.
And the luck turns around this time. No more bad luck on your end. It's good luck now, so you don't have to say F me on Friday.
Not anymore.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to tonight?
The whole DBR team as a whole, for all they do. They're just helping me throughout the race, making good calls, when to pit, how much fuel to take, and pretty much all the other competitors that, didn't wreck me. And all of Race Control for putting this on, and just everyone that's a part of XCAL as a whole and contributes to this.
Great run tonight, Jabroni.
Thank you.
All right, Jonathan Bronson comes home in third place. And let's go to Alex Crapser. Doug's got him. Ties his best finish of the season.
Hey, Alex. First off, let's talk about the wild finish you guys had there. Old school Darlington finish with you on right sides or on left sides only, right sides on the wall as you cross the start-finish line.
Yeah, I knew that Kendrick wasn't going to let me have the inside, and he doesn't have to give up any line if he doesn't want to, but I saw the outside was open. I just tried to get as close to the wall as possible, just so if he tried to squeeze me, I wouldn't hit him before I hit the wall. I'd much rather be the guy that got forced into causing a wreck than caused the wreck. So that's kind of just how it goes. He had the position on me. That's part of it, being the leader at the end of a race like that. You can block a guy if you want. Congrats to him. He was fast. He deserved it. Just felt like we had a really good chance to win that too.
Well, man, you're 6th week in XCAL. You've already got a couple of second-place finishes. Most of your finishes have been in the top 10. I mean, you're definitely one that's we're going to be watching closely. It looks like you have a win coming before too much longer.
Yeah, I hope so. We're kind of just working on the same setup week after week, the same setup for South Boston, Irwindale, USA, all these racetracks. So, and I thought as the race went on, the setup would get worse. I didn't really practice it too much at night, and it actually got better the further the race went on with all the rubber on the racetrack.
Well, that was definitely a heck of a run. started in 8th. You went backwards a little bit outside the top 10 early, managed to come back, get a second place, and just by measured in hundredths of a second. So congratulations. Any team or sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, definitely got to thank my team, JNS, DVR, Danny's Game Changer. Sorry, Justin Plummer. He's a car owner. Got to thank all the sponsors: Skeleton Tea Recording, Jennifer Gin, and everyone who was on the team. Mason helped with the setup a little bit. Travis and Jerry and Sean unfortunately got out of the race real early, but they stayed the rest of the race and watched me and Mason and tried to help us where they could tell us someone was running a different line or whatever. So got to thank them, thank everyone on the team.
All right, man. Congratulations. Second place again tonight, but we know you've got a win coming before long.
Thank you.
Alex Krapser, nothing to be disappointed about. Now, to those watching in chat, you all are saying that was an incredible finish. I just hope, and someone please confirm this with me, I just hope that my mic did not cut out like it has in the past, Doug.
No, I think we caught most of it, but yeah, that was a wild one. And how often do you see a car finish across the start-finish line with its right sides driving down the wall?
Rarely. You rarely do, and we're about to talk with him in K2 Victory Lane. First career XCAL win. He goes from second the first time we were here at USA to the win this time. Kendrick Cryer. Kendrick, how's it feel, brother?
Holy crap, that was a wild one. I mean, 5 laps to go. You got to do everything you can to win. I mean, Rubbin's racing. You got to put him in the wall, I guess. I mean, it's racing, but I'm just thank Derek Colson, Dive Bomb Racing, Chase Johnson for wrecking in the pits. He would have beat me, I think. Adria Dave for watching us, cheering me on tonight, and Aiden Kaiser Upsets Racing, Superstar Motorsports, Back 40 Speed Shop. Car was really fast. I want to thank Chase also for the setup. Partially helped me with the setup. I would have been way back in 20th. But, yeah, thank all them people. Car was really good. Hoping I'll be taking this in the week off and hopefully cap off Rockingham with a good finish, too.
I don't know if we've ever seen a car that won an XCAL spin out as they were crossing the start finish. I know it wasn't a spin, you saved it, but it really did look like it.
Yeah, that was one of the closest finishes I've ever had. I mean, probably the closest one I've won, but that was wild. I mean, I did apologize to Alex. I will admit that was a little bit dirty at the end, but it's racing.
And I gotta ask, Kendrick, do you think that if there had been a little bit more grip on the wall, could Crasper have gotten past you there at the finish line? Because his right sides were on the wall.
Probably if I didn't put him in the wall, he probably would have got around me and won. But I mean, what do you do?
You send it.
Absolutely. We definitely understand, and that, without question, was the best finish of the XCAL season. That has to do with points. Kendrick, enjoy this win, man, for 2 weeks. Congratulations. You're an XCAL winner, and I love the rear bumper.
Thank you. I had to do it.
Kendrick Cryer, Triple K gets it done. And what a race it was for Kendrick, indeed. Man, can we watch that final lap once again on replay, Doug?
Let me see if I can get it to pull up here.
I mean, I think you can just spotlight Cryer if you can, and then just go back, click back 2 laps. I know you got to use the iRacing user interface, but
there we go.
We have to watch that again, and I've got it loaded. I've got the main feed loaded up. We'll see how this happens. So, once again, you're watching real time. Both of them riding the inside, and I want to see how Crapser was able to set this pass up here. Cryer went a little lower on the exit, trying to block Crapser and trying to make it in the defensive line on the bottom. Crapser goes the harder way around, and Cryer moves up the track, trying to cut his line off. And that is just hard racing to the finish, and Kendrick Cryer gets it done. Wow, is all you can say.
Yeah, what an amazing finish.
Absolutely. They're all saying they heard me loud and clear. Awesome to hear. Nick says great finish. Clug Power says we heard us loud and clear. Dayu Boat says seems good and love. I love it. Anyway, let's give you the official results from tonight's race. Kendrick Cryer with the win, Alex Krapser second, Jonathan Bronson third, Luke Turpin fourth, Octavio Rondeletto fifth, Jordan Babinger sixth, Dwayne Robinson seventh, Tyler McRae eighth, Trevor Birchmeyer ninth, Mason Foster 10th, Matt Bear 11th, Austin Edwards 12th, Ezekiel Montero 13th, Greg Holes 14th, John Batista 15th, Jose Gaudino 16th, Logan Jones 17th, 18th, Brett Edgar 19th, Kenny Tripp, Ryan Soper 20th, Jeremy Letto 21st, Mike Stoddard 22nd, Derek Colson 23rd, Pat Sullivan 24th, Josh Doobie 25th, Alex Gingler 26th, 27th, Kyle Bartels 28th, Joe Campbell 29th, Art Hendren 30th, Daniel Miller 31st, Robert Colgan 32nd, John Friley 33rd, Jeff Edgar 34th, Sean Patrick 35th, Ryan Seams 36th, went to Tanner Kalin 37th, Chase Johnson 38th, Gerald Poole 39th, Sean Andrews 40th, Travis Sukup, and 41st was Blaine Aiken. Keep in mind Ryan Seams was disqualified, so that will relegate him to a last place finish. Keep in mind as well when it comes to the bonus points. I'm just going to save this replay real quick. And we'll take a look at the results here on our end. Leading the most laps in the race with 126, Luke Turpin. He gets the 5 extra bonus points. Kendrick Cryer, Krapser, Bronson, Turpin, Rondeletto, Babinger, McRae, Birchmeyer, Edwards each get, and Gingler each get 5 bonus points for leading a lap at least. Fastest lap of the race, and this also gets the 5 bonus points. That went to Luke Turpin, a 22.782. The Hard Charger Award, biggest mover of the race, that goes to Jonathan Bronson from 35th to 3rd position. So he will get 5 more points for that. And on the pole was Alex Gingler getting the 5 extra bonus points. We know Luke Turpin will extend his points lead on Jordan Babinger based on getting 15 bonus points, and Jordan Babinger getting the 10 for getting 5 bonus points in this regard. So it is 4th beating 6th. So 9-point gain. That would put it up to 13, and then you got to add 10. I believe this is a 23-point lead for Luke Turpin over Jordan Babinger as we head to an off week as we go into Daytona in 2 weeks.
Do expect Daytona Road to be a bit of a wild one.
Absolutely. Keep in mind in road courses, no yellows. We have local yellows though, but full course yellows won't happen across the board. So, so a little bit of ado before we go, just final thoughts on one incredible show.
Yeah, that finish will be something we talk about for a long time to come. We saw at Irwindale a few weeks ago, we saw 6 wide racing. Tonight we saw 2 wide racing with one of them literally driving on the wall. It's almost something out of a cartoon, but heck of a finish. Points battle got changed up multiple times through the night, and I expect that to continue to be the case for the remainder of the season. And obviously, first-time winner here, and I guarantee you, Alex Krapser was right on the edge of getting that first win.
Oh, so close, and yes, Krapser will get a win this season without question. All right, so we are going to sign off tonight. Special thanks to our sponsors, as always. They include Butt Kicker, K2 Sauce, Higgins XCAL Spotter Pack, JT's Mobile Pressure Washing, More Polish Pottery, Sim Racer Coin, Tri-E Inc., the XCAL Racing Web Shop, It was an absolute incredible race tonight. On behalf of all the drivers, all the admins of XCAL Racing, the president is Aaron Hillebush, the vice president, PDJ Zeller, also race director. Our admins tonight, Derek Colson, Jeremy Leto, Paul Coleman Jr., and a whole lot more. Now on behalf of Doug Burns in the producing studio and my broadcast partner, Marty Sakala, signing off. Congratulations to Kendrick Cryer. He gets his first win in XCAL competition at USA International Speedway. Thank you all for joining us. So long from Lakeland, Florida.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.